All right, so I'm ready to make a cold brew. Hey YouTube, Doug Wallman. I'm here to try making a cold brew on my new Braun MultiServe. Has the cold brew function, unlike my other one. So I just ground 42.5 grams of coffee. I think that's kind of strong actually for a 12 ounce, but that's kind of what AI recommended. And I did read the instructions. There's this serving scoop, and it recommends using, for 12 ounce cup, use 6 small. So we'll see how AI compared to whatever it's going to recommend here. But instructions tell me, first of all, let's fill this up with some water. I didn't skip any of this, or I didn't do too much prep other than reading ahead a little bit. That's more than enough water, but there we go. So I just clean this out, let it cool down a little bit, and yeah, it's plenty cool. Put my hand on there, right? So it has a little bit of a cup shelf there, and it tells you not to use this mesh filter for cold brew, so do not use that. Does not want you to use that. It wants you to use just a number 4 filter. So we'll go ahead and do that. I kind of fold it. Could I get behind here while I'm doing this? And I don't know, guys. I hardly ever use this filter or this scoop, to be honest, but we're going to try doing what it says. So that's 1. That's 2. 3. 4. 5. And yeah, that's going to be roughly what it recommends. 6. There's just a tiny bit left over. So yeah, AI, and I told AI I was using the Braun, but I wanted it in terms of grams. 42.5 grams. Dude, I would use that for like a whole carafe of coffee. But I'm just going to do what it says. I do like my cold brew a little bit weaker, but I'm just going to do what it says. I don't mind it stronger, but we'll just see. So I'm going to close the lid to just kind of catch what I got going on there. I'm trying to do an overhead shot. I'm not sure how well it's going to work, but so I'm going to move it to the 12 ounce, and it's on the coffee setting. If it wasn't, you'd put it there, right? And cold brew. Well, first got to turn it on. First turn it on, and then cold brew. And it's supposed to take around 13 minutes, I think. So we'll see how that works out. I may actually just let this video run for 13 minutes, because we're all kind of curious how this works, aren't we? But I can read what it says here. Page 18 in the manual under cold brew function. Of course, make sure your cup size fits to the selected beverage size. Never fill ice cubes in the water reservoir. We recommend using the carafe or a thermal-resistant glass. Well, I don't know if this is thermal-resistant, but I'm sure it'll be fine. It's for tea, so it must be. It's actually for tea. It's a little glass my daughter gave me, and I'm just skipping the other part of it, which is that. But that's the fanciest cup I have right now, and it's already starting to make it. It appears it's cold brew. Cold brew process can have a variable time due to dedicated infusion method and may differ from a normal brewing process in terms of timing. Number 1, fill fresh cold water in the water reservoir up to the dedicated mark on the water reservoir. You can go over, it's just that you're going to have leftover that you may want to dump out. Insert a paper filter cone type number 2 in the filter basket. Do not use the gold tone permanent filter for the cold brew function. Get in front of the camera a little more. Add the desired amount of ground coffee corresponding to the number of cups being brewed. We recommend using the Braun coffee measuring scoop. See table. And that's what I did in this table. Told me to use 6 small. So I don't know if this overhead shot's going to catch that, or if the overhead shot's even working. It might not be, because it didn't work for my unboxing video so well. Kind of curious how that's working. So it's going to apparently have some timing things going on there, which I know nothing about. That's why it's doing it for me. So yeah, they recommend using that scoop. I think I'll just find a number of grams that I like, and I'll just use a scale. And honestly, I doubt if it's going to be 42.5 grams the next time I make a 12-ounce cup. In fact, I'll probably want to take it to work, and I'll probably want to use my 16 or 20 ounce. And if I had to use the same ratio, I'd be out of coffee in no time with that. But lucky for me, I think I do actually like it weaker. In fact, I almost like it the strength of tea, to be honest. Like just a little flavor of coffee. I don't know if that's technically a cold brew. I mean, a little more than just a little flavor. But I notice when I get cold brews at the coffee shop, I'm like, holy cow, this is strong. But we'll see. We'll take their recommendation and see how it works out. It's doing its thing. We'll just let it do its thing. We won't question it. So the there's another note here. The coffee grounds will absorb some of the water that is brewed, resulting in slightly less brewed coffee than water used. Number 4, press the on-off button. Remember, my stomach growling. Place the lever E in the position coffee. That would be this thing, which I already did. I know how to do all this, I think. Select the beverage size. I did the 12-ounce. Yes. Press cold brew button. Press the cold brew button to start the brewing cycle. The cold brew button and the on-off button are illuminated continuously during the brewing process. And that should be the case, of course. The unit will beep when the brew is complete and cold brew turns off. Note, we recommend adding 30% ice cubes to cold brew coffee after brewing before consumption. Read that again. We recommend adding 30% ice cubes to cold brew coffee after brewing before consumption. For best results when using a carafe, place it in the refrigerator for 15 minutes before adding the ice cubes. Place the lever in position, drip stop. This is when it's done. Note, be sure the cup size fits to the selected beverage size. I think I read that before, because it said it before, now it's saying it after. Well, I think it's about to cause about pause during brewing process, like if you were actually doing a hot brew, if you wanted to pause and grab some coffee from your carafe, you could put it in the drip stop. But there's a note, every time there's a different brewing method, there's a note that says, be sure the cup size fits the selected beverage size. Never fill ice cubes in the water reservoir. We recommend using the Braun carafe, the Braun travel mug, or a thermal-resistant glass. So, and I just eyeballed that, and it looked to me to be about like it could handle 12 or maybe even 14 ounces. Hopefully there's enough room for cream and sugar. Maybe just cream. I don't know. So yeah, this was a nice little owner's manual. It's got some recommendations here. I will have to get myself a new charcoal filter. I just borrowed the one I already have. So I'll probably have to time this in my video, but it looks like it's doing its thing. I think it's supposed to be done in about 13 minutes. I imagine that was like a more concentrated brew at the first part, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me. I don't know why it did what it did, but I'm just trusting it knows what it's doing. So yeah, I did recommend adding ice after it's brewed. Now, will I do that? I don't know. We'll see, because it's going to be kind of hard to drop ice cubes in there, you think. Well, I kind of have to get ready for that. Let's grab like a spoon. I'll do some prep work here. I turned off my fridge for this. I'm always going to want some cream. That's just how I am. So I'll put a little cream in a nice fancy container. And if I want sugar, I'll have that ready. Very interesting. I was looking forward to checking out how this works. It's just going to do its own thing, and I'll let it do all the thinking. Otherwise, you can probably just get like a glass mason jar, let it sit in the fridge for, I don't know, 1 to 3 days, or even longer maybe. In fact, I left one in there for like over a week, I think, and it was fine. That's probably a pretty good method. But when you don't have time and you just quick want a cold brew, well, actually, I probably would just end up using this, since this is what I have now. I'll see how good it is. I'm not sure how that extraction is working, but they got something going on there. It's not over ice, because the over ice is a whole nother feature on this. This is cold brew. So I'd be interested in knowing how well it works, how good it tastes. It'll let us know when it's done. So how is everybody? How's everybody doing? And this video is kind of all over the place. I apologize. I just really enjoy myself a good cup of coffee. So I went through all the trouble of buying another coffee maker, as if I didn't have enough already. I got so many different coffee makers, but mainly, yes, I just use I really use my Bonavita kettle. I use that sometimes, or I use the Braun MultiServe. And in this case, I have a new Braun MultiServe, which has the cold brew setting, which I'm pretty excited about, actually. But I have plenty of other coffee makers too. We won't talk about those so much. I have my Clever Dripper, which is what I use in conjunction with that Bonavita kettle there. I do also have, what do you call it? I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's a siphon brewer. That's what it's called. I have a siphon brewer. I have several other coffee makers. One's even connected to Wi-Fi, but I haven't even, I don't think I've even used that since I've moved here to Sioux Falls. I did have it there in Rapid City. You have control, exact control over the temperature of your brew with that. The other one I haven't even unboxed it since I've moved here. Which one is that? I kind of forget the name of that. But it's sitting over here. The Be More. But the reason I didn't like the Be More is you can only really do full carafes on that, if I remember. Now, they had some promise of making it so you could make smaller batch sizes with an adapter of some kind, a filter adapter or basket adapter or something. But they don't recommend doing half carafes on that more because it could damage the machine or something like that. Anyway, I've been trying to talk enough to span a whole like 15-20 minute video on this cold brew and see how it turns out. It's kind of a nice day. My morning has kind of been occupied with just getting this video done, doing the unboxing, which is a separate video. Yeah, you can get some pretty good deals on Amazon. In this case, I did elect to find one that was slightly used, which I just think what happened, and more than likely the customer bought it and decided they didn't like it and returned it, or the box got unopened or something. So there, now it's done. I can be interesting to know how cold it really is, because that feels kind of warm to me. So we are at 116 degrees, folks. 116 degrees. I'm going to take the cup out of here, but it did say cold brew. Well, certainly that's lukewarm. I don't know if that qualifies the way we want it to. Yeah, I was supposed to have turned on that drip stop. Fortunately, I have some paper towel. Wipe that mess up. That was my bad. So supposedly that's all done. I'm not sure why they have the timer or that going. That's flashing. Well, it's kind of a little above lukewarm, I would say. So to me, I guess what's going to make this work. Sorry, I got to break my ice up. To me, this resembles a little bit too much like it was iced coffee. But it did tell me to do this after the fact. I'm sure it brewed it differently than a drip. And the temperature certainly isn't like hot. I could have actually measured the temperature of that because I have a thermometer. That's going to tell you it was definitely above lukewarm. So we are at 116 degrees, folks. 116 degrees. I'm going to take the cup out of here. But you're probably going to need ice anyway, right? I actually recommend like 30% ice, and I think that's why. Well, it wasn't going to come out cold. We know that. Not cold, because that just wouldn't be how you would expect it. I maybe expected it a little bit colder than how it came out. But here we're going to put in our cream, which I'll cool it some more. I don't know if I need sugar or not. Let's go ahead and maybe we won't stir it. It's got that nice look to it when it's not stirred. I don't know if the overhead thing is still working. Probably not. So we got ourselves a nice cold brew. Probably, I don't know. Let's give me a good angle at that. We'll see what I think of that. I'd say that is good. I don't know how to compare it to like iced coffee. Probably smoother. Now, that took, what was it, 42.5 grams of coffee Honestly, God, I'm probably going to run through another cycle and see how it tastes, but not on video. Yeah, it's going to be gross to hear me swallowing, but yeah, that's really good. Oh, I'll reduce the volume when I'm swallowing, but I think I am going to try a little sugar. Let's see how that helps it out or not. I do appreciate how it tastes. It is good. You don't need that much cream, but it's got to finish it up. I got to finish it, and we won't even stir it because I kind of like the random different levels of darkness and light. That's kind of cool. Well, there's my cold brew. I'll see if I can get up in here a little nicer. Well, guys, thanks. Thanks for watching my video. I know it was a little bit probably sketch how I put it together. I do kind of have to stir that just to get that sugar. I think I'm actually going to go out on my balcony and enjoy this outside. So thanks for watching. I'll take one more sip just to see how that sugar added to it or took away from it. No, that's really delicious. It actually could use a little more ice now, to tell you the truth. It basically was like a lukewarm cup of coffee, but the extraction methodology they were using does allow it to be strong enough. I could have gotten by with, as far as that being too strong, I think most people would appreciate the strength of that. It is kind of strong though. I could have probably gotten by with maybe 30 grams of coffee. In fact, I would go all the way down to maybe 25 next time and see how that tastes, and maybe even lower. But it tastes how it should. I know how it should taste in a coffee shop, and this is kind of that grade of flavor. Very good. Well, guys, I'm going to get outside. I turned my fridge back on, so I turned it off for the video, and enjoy this cup of delicious cold brew coffee. So thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with my presentation, and hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got an idea how this really works, because I haven't seen any videos demonstrating how this really works. There's plenty of AI videos. I think maybe they're cracking down on some of that. I don't even know if there's an AI video on how this actually performed. Maybe offered some specs, but I actually showed you how it performed, how this tastes, which is delicious, and just the fact that it came out lukewarm, which I guess you'd expect it. I'd have to honestly say a little tiny bit above lukewarm. Granted, I probably should have measured the temperature. Sorry about that. So we are at 116 degrees, folks. 116 degrees. I'm going to take the cup out of here, but it was lukewarm. That's what we're going to rate it as. So that's that. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video. In case that ending sucked, I didn't smile long enough. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next video. All right, so I've done my first cold brew on this Braun MultiServe already, but I forgot to show any indication of temperature or time, so I thought I'd go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and power this up So I noticed it's having kind of a hard time doing that. I got to press pretty hard, it seems like. It's already on the 12 ounce. We'll go ahead and start the timer over here. We have the probe of this temperature thing, of this thermometer in the cup already. Cold brew, there we go. I don't want that. Timer's probably 10 seconds off, so. We'll get to see what happens in real time here. Should be interesting to note. So I guess I have an ambient room temperature of 74 degrees or something, or inside the cup right now, 74 degrees. So I just have a temperature probe stuck right in the cup, and we've got it timing here. So we can do a little more scientific investigation into what's going on, for those of you who care. And I'm sorry I have my big scale up. I thought that's the only really, besides my iPhone or something, it'd be probably the best way just to put up a timer, see what's going on here. So right away you see the temperature going up. Now that 201 on the right, that's just supposed to set like a notice if it reaches that temperature, I think. So pay attention to the temperature on the left, not the right. I think the time is in seconds. I think. We'll double check here. If it goes past 60, we know. I guess it's in minutes. The time is in minutes. That's cool. And seconds. But it's not like 70 seconds or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's at 124 degrees Fahrenheit right now. I measure things in Fahrenheit. Well, it's not really that hot because I think if you're brewing a cup of coffee, you're kind of more in the 195 to 204 range, or maybe even 205, and we're all the way down to 123, and it just began. So not bad. So this takes, I thought I read it was like 13 minutes. So we'll see from start to finish how long this does take. Should be interesting to note. Yes, we are in the cold brew cycle, or cold brew option. As you can clearly see, cold brew. (121 degrees, 120. We're not going to care about a degree or two. I was curious what this was actually doing, and if you are too, I guess we'll know now. The scale actually just turned, oh, okay, so the backlight on the timer went off, but you can still see it. That's okay. I'm just checking it out, folks. It did make a really good cup. I want to make it weaker, but just in case the temperature is impacted by how much coffee grounds I have in there, I just left it roughly the same. Something like 42 grams. Was it 41 and a half or 42 and a half? I just did 42. It does make a pretty strong cup of coffee or cold brew, and yes, I still feel it. 3 hours, several hours later. Hopefully I can sleep tonight because it's already almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I already uploaded my unboxing video of this Braun MultiServe, so I thought we need to do a cold brew right away, and then I did that already, but I thought I really want a temperature reading and even time. So looks like we're approaching 7 minutes, so we should be roughly half done. And I do hear that it's beginning to do the rest of the brew cycle here. But it pauses and it's doing something inside the machine there with that coffee. Probably just letting it soak, I'm guessing. I doubt if there's much pressure. I could be wrong. I doubt if there's much to do with that. I'm not sure how they do what they're doing. We'll have to look into it. I might have time to ask AI. I'll just maybe ask if there's any opinions it offers me, or facts maybe. Imagine that. How does the Braun MultiServe brew a cold brew? I'm typing this out instead of speaking into it in such a short amount of time. Okay. I'll even put in the question mark. The Braun MultiServe coffee maker achieves cold brew in a short time using a combination of temperature control and let's just start over. I got too much caffeine, folks, so it's at 118 degrees right now. The Braun MultiServe coffee maker achieves cold brew in a short time using a combination of temperature control and a unique brewing process. It uses a lower temperature and a specific brewing time, along with a recommended bold setting and potentially more coffee grounds, to extract the flavor from the grounds more quickly than traditional cold brew methods. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Lower temperature. The Braun MultiServe Plus coffee maker utilizes a lower brewing temperature specifically for its cold brew setting, which helps to extract the coffee's flavor more efficiently than traditional cold brew methods that rely solely on room temperature or refrigeration. This is assuming this AI is right, which I'm not sure if it is. The machine may, over ice or bold setting. The machine may have a dedicated over ice or bold setting that is designed to brew coffee at a lower temperature. Well, those are separate things, so it's already kind of... Yeah, traditional brew Traditional cold brew methods, which involve steeping coffee grounds in cold water for 12 to 24 hours, are based on slow extraction of flavor. The Braun MultiServe, by adjusting temperature and brewing time, can achieve a similar flavor profile in a significantly shorter amount of time. And yes, it gave me the caffeine. It's partly why I can't even hardly remain calm enough to read this. Let's actually put this into, let's ask the same question to Meta AI as opposed to just putting it in to Safari's. I know it pauses and keeps going. Yes, this has a little more specifics here. Meta AI, the Braun MultiServe Plus coffee maker can brew cold brew coffee in under 13 minutes thanks to its advanced extract brew system and specialized cold brew setting. Here's how it works. Extract brew system. This technology automatically calculates the precise water flow, temperature, and speed for every coffee preference, ensuring optimal brewing performance. Cold brew setting. When you select the cold brew option, the machine uses a unique brewing process that involves a slower, phased brewing method. This allows the coffee grounds to steep and release their flavors quickly. So we're still at 119. That's, significantly lower, yes. Paper filter requirement. Unlike hot brewing, cold brew requires a paper filter to prevent the coffee grounds from passing through into the liquid. Optimized parameters. The machine adjusts brewing parameters such as water flow and temperature to extract a perfect amount of flavor and aroma from the coffee grounds. The result is a smooth, freshly brewed cold brew coffee in a fraction of the time it takes traditional cold brew methods. This feature is perfect for those who want to enjoy cold brew coffee without the long waiting time. So I do confirm that it did taste good. As you could see, I already had one. And with it does allow you to feel the caffeine. I actually thought it had a lower caffeine content, but then again, I'm using probably twice as much in my basket for how I brew my coffee. But I'm just going by the standard. Next time I'll probably do considerably less. And so we are at 12 and a half minutes roughly. So I would expect this to beep or shut off. There it goes. It did exactly what it said it did. So we are at 116 degrees, folks. 116 degrees. I'm going to take the cup out of here, set it over there. It's going to be maybe a little out of focus because I have the focus on that timer. And that's how I want it. Grab myself my cream. I'm going to put ice in just to see how that impacts the temperature. I'm a little curious. Somehow we got this turned off. It didn't want to be on, I guess. How did it know? So yes, according to this, I don't know if we can just put it on the units again. Yeah, we're at 13 and a half minutes right now. So we're right at 13 minutes. There probably was a little under that. 114. It does lower it. I better, right? If my thermometer is any indication at all, it definitely got a lower temp. Well, we should. And plus, on top of that, well, we're going to stir it a little bit, right? Right at the bottom there. I was just curious how this will impact the temperature. Of course it will. I'm just curious for more of a scientific readout. What we got here for temperature. Oh, I filled that up to the brim. All right, so we're at Not that the time matters now, we're approaching 15 minutes by the time if you're slow like me, getting to the freezer, getting your ice. But that's pretty good. I might try to, oh, without spilling it everywhere. Oh, I'm way up to the brim here. I didn't need to do that. I'll take a sip of this with my spoon. So yeah, we're temperatures like 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 54. I don't know if we have to stir it anymore. All right, well, that gives you a little better readout as to what's going on. All right, we're at 16 minutes. That doesn't even need to be counted now, but the timer's there. So, well, guys, thanks for watching. I thought I'd add this on as a bonus to my video, or I'll do a separate video. Probably just add it to what I'm already done. Make it a longer video on this cold brew function that this lovely multi-serve, Braun MultiServe, allows us to enjoy much quicker, I should add, than just your normal cold brew process. If I had any advice, go ahead and try it at the normal, the normal recommendation for how much coffee grounds you're going to add. But try a weaker flavor profile too, because that's what I discovered when I made my own using a mason jar or something like that. It's actually a ball. It's actually a ball jar. It's kind of gross. I still have the coffee grounds in there. I need to clean that out. But it's probably out of focus. So when I did that, that was quite delicious. And with this, I can also probably just try a little less bold cold brew. But we'll just end the video for the probably third or fourth time. I don't know where I'm at with that, but thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It's at 51 degrees now, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.